Well, it's a new day, everybody. I'm leaving the house at 7:16 in the morning. I had to leave a little earlier today. Normally I take the kids to school, but my wife is doing that today because she has a PTO meeting. Oh, happy day. So I can bust out of here early. I'm gonna go grab some breakfast somewhere, Hardee's, McDonald's, something. So heading out to Ivanhoe, North Carolina. A unit I put in, well, the AC coil and AC I put in about a month and a half ago. The lady says the unit's squeaking, so it's probably the blower or something's moving on the old furnace, I'm sure. Then I'm going to town to do some preventive maintenance. Check in clean and check in clean, 2 units. And another service call perhaps if I have time. Otherwise I'll be heading back and I'll do that service call tomorrow. So we shall see. Stay along for the ride. It's gonna be a bumpy ride. Oh, yeah. Had to come out and check out my unit here. They were having a noise. Turns out it was crickets in the electric furnace cabinet, so on to town. So I'm out in the middle of the country, kind of way far out from where I originally was gonna go, but you know what? Customer service is important, and I'm kind of relieved there wasn't anything wrong with the unit because I just put it in. Even if it was the old electric furnace, I hate having to work on something, even if it isn't the part of the system that I previously worked on. I hate to have to come back so soon and do something like that. But turns out it was just crickets. There was a cricket inside the machine, and I saw another dead one on the ground off to the side where I couldn't reach. And the lady said that the machine would run and you would hear creak, 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 like 10 times, and it would stop and then it would happen again later. I was like, wow, that's something. I'm glad it's nothing. It's kind of a long detour, but I'm glad it's nothing. So I'm heading downtown now to do a little bit of PM work. Might show you a little bit of that stuff. Not really anything too fancy, just normal stuff. Amana, I think 14C or 15C or whatever they were. ASPT air handlers I put in like 2014. It's actually for a guy that saw me on YouTube, believe it or not. I sound like Ralph. So I'm gonna go check those out, make sure they're all squared away. He just signed up for the preventive maintenance, so I'm gonna go take care of him. They have a few service calls waiting or lying in wait I need to get to. So the next couple days will probably be pretty busy. I'll probably split it into multiple videos. So Zach is working again, mama. Stay tuned, y'all. Oh, we're crossing the Isabella Holmes Bridge. We're going downtown. From the farm country to the city, buddy. Town and Country Air. Aptly named. You can see the sign coming up here, heading Wilmington downtown. Going down to historic downtown, actually. Take a look at a couple of Amana units. A little cleaning. Just a little cleaning. This is actually the units that were in Amana Land number 4. 2 years later and dirty. You can see the scum of the earth start coming out here. We'll let it seep in there for another few minutes. Then I'll wash it off. Should be a nice brown flow. Surprise, surprise, one of the Amana capacitors is weak. 40/5, and it's a 36/4, 3.9 or so. So I'm gonna swap it out. Another thing I'm noticing on these Amana units are the two, you can hardly see them, but it's the red here and the black here going down to the contactor seem to be loose all the time. Those connections seem to be real loose, so I had to remake those. I had to do it on this machine, had to do it on the machine over there, and I've had previous machines burn off the wire right there, which kind of goes right along with that same scenario. So something to watch out for on these Goodman and Amanas. We are up and running and our pressures look good. We'll get back to those in a minute, but we can see there's a code on the comfort alert, 3 blinks, which stands for pressure switch cycling. You can sort of see it right there. And with that capacitor being weak and the fan motor perhaps not starting, it could have caused a high pressure trip. So I'm going to assume that is the case while I watch this thing run, see if there's any other indicators. But since it was a weakened capacitor, it was in the 3s for the fan instead of 5. And our pressures are looking normal as of right now. So we shall wait and see and we'll let it run. But that's what I'm going to work with until proven otherwise. We are on unit number 2. We have a very high suction pressure because it's over 80 degrees inside. We also have a really high relative humidity. That's why we have our low temperature split. Let it run for a little while. See how we're doing. But it looks like this one's going to be okay. Okay guys, I'm in a quaint little neighborhood downtown here to take a look at this house right here. The guy said he would be home till 6:30, but he said the unit was outside. So I'm going to go check out and see what that means, make sure that's something I actually work on. Because I was in the neighborhood, right down the street doing that cleaning, so might as well take a look. Right, so I actually went over there and took a look at it, and it's just not getting a signal. You know, it's probably a float switch or something like that. It's hard to say. It could be thermostat problem. The thermostat's broke. I don't know. I told the guy I needed to get inside, and he's not going to be home till 6:30, so I can't do it today anyway, because I'll be somewhere else at 6:30. And so I'm going to try to set that up for tomorrow. So instead, I'm going to go across town. Well, I'm going to go eat. Then I'm going to go across town and check out a unit that's low on charge. I'm going to charge it up and try to seal off the service valves with leak lock or nylog or something, because they seem to be the only thing leaking on the system that I could find. So I'm going to go ahead and treat that. And we're going to, she said she's going to do maintenance, so we're going to see about doing maintenance each year and making sure that's the case. That's the only thing leaking. So I'm going to head that way. What's going on, guys?
Just driving.
Just driving. This is the very first part of the workday where we are doing what?
Driving.
Going to school. Going to school. Oh, happy day. Straight from school to the job. How are all of our grades?
Bad.
Bad? Well, they're not all bad, are they?
Mine are good.
Good? Everybody's doing good?
Valerie.
Oh, let's not argue on the camera for all the world to
Ours is
see.
100% better.
Maybe we shouldn't have brought it up. On to work! Guys, I'm done taking the kids to school and I'm heading to my first call of this day. I am changing out an electric furnace, a coil, and a heat pump next Tuesday. But the people were a little bit low on gas, so to buy myself some time so I can fit it in, I'm going to put a little bit of R22 in there just to get them by. Go ahead and pick up the deposit check for the job, and then head on to my other calls. I have an old Nordyne system I'm putting a little bit of charge into. Got my baby R22 out. Probably end up putting like 1.5 pounds in it, 1.4 ounces, something like that, just to tide them over till I come in next week to change it out, because I couldn't fit it in this week. So I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna be off to town to pick up the new unit and bring it back here so they can have it for next week. So if you look in the back of the truck there, you'll see a cardboard box. That is our Heil heat pump. It's a 14 series, just a regular N-series heat pump. I just picked it up with an electric furnace and a coil to take back to the house. It just gave me that deposit on the job, and then get onto my service calls. I'll have 3 calls after this. I'm gonna recharge the unit, do a little bit of sealing around the service valves with nylog or leak lock or whatever I have on the truck, and see if we can't seal them off as best as possible, keep them from leaking. I'm also going down to a apartment building where I do a lot of work. Y'all have seen it, and rerun a drain that's going into a, well, I don't know where it's going to, like a hub or something, and it just keeps backing up and no one can seem to figure out how to unclog it. The plumbers came by and they don't know what to do with it. They said they don't know where it goes and they can't reach it with whatever means they use to unclog stuff. So I'm going to rerun it into a different drain and hopefully that'll work. Then I'm heading out to Leland, North Carolina to add a hard start kit, capacitor, do a few odds and ends to a unit that is ailing, that it was on my last video. The one where the customer says the thermostat's not working. Do a couple numbers to try to improve its life. Maybe take a little bit of that refrigerant out if we even have to get a little bit of superheat. Create the balancing act. Try to get it work as good as possible. They're having a home inspection here in a couple days, and they don't want any surprises. So that's about it. I was thinking about this stuff. I just went to R.A. Michael, and now whenever I go to buy equipment, I pay cash for it. I don't use credit accounts any longer. And credit really got me into trouble coming up in the business. I remember getting credit accounts for the first time, which was difficult because I came from an era of bad credit. When the economy went into the tank, I pretty much went with it and had to kind of build back up. So when I got credit accounts again, I was like, oh, happy day. I can get credit now. But really, the best way to do it, I found, and a lot of the guys had a great head start on me and knew this from the beginning, is to do it with cash. Just I get deposits for all my jobs. I don't put credit on the line for anything, because I found that when these bad things happen, and God knows there's been a lot of them, that I tend to have to shift money around, and I get myself into trouble if I got money out on the line with credit. So I try to do all cash now, so everything's paid for. We're all squared away all the time with none of this I owe this, I owe that sort of thing. So that's what I'm gonna try to do. Like I said, stick around, guys. We're gonna do some more calls. I just thought I'd throw that tidbit in there because I was thinking about it, and we'll see what happens. Looking at my eye connect here. Here's the low side on the suction line. Purge it out. Got my high side there. Screw it on a couple times, and I'll use the cloth. Got those on. I use this as my outdoor temperature sensor. I can just let it dangle across the unit if I want to, put it wherever. This one's already mapped out. That means I've told it to be the outdoor temperature sensor. Now all I'm going to do is dangle it over here on top of this door so we get a sense of outdoor temperature. The first clamp I have is one of those Cooper Atkins clamps. Put this one on the suction line. Actually, what I might do is move this line to the inside here, because there's a heat pump connection here, so I can put a refrigerant here, which is what I'll probably do. But I still need to hook it up. Plug that in to get subcooling, and see what we got. So our pressures are pretty low. I'm going to seal off the service valves where those caps are. I probably should have already done that, but I might just shut it off and do it now. But we'll have to recharge it once I do that. Alright guys, next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start a project. See, I have 20 projects here. Different projects for different people. New project there. I'm gonna make a new one because I've never been here. As far as making a project, I'm gonna fill out all the information, profile the system, and then we'll take it from there. Guys, you can see our condenser is running a shade below the target, and we only have about 6 degrees difference from return to supply. So I'm gonna go ahead and recharge it back up. It's 12 degrees subcooling target, so we're gonna take it up to there and see how she looks then. Guys, I've added a pound of refrigerant and we're looking much better. We're 1.61 tons, so well below our capacity. That's with an overestimated airflow because it's estimating a higher airflow because of our lower temperature split. As we add refrigerant and we get our proper subcooling and proper temperature split, our airflow estimation will come into its proper area. It'll give us a pretty good representation. So let's go ahead and add some more refrigerant until we get there and see how it looks once we're done. Right now it says we're getting 600 CFM per ton. So that'll come down as we add to the proper subcooler. All right, guys, we're looking a little bit better now. 1.93 tons, 23,000 BTUs, 19 degrees split. Oh, happy day. Our subcooling is coming up. I'm gonna shut off the refrigerant. Unfortunately, we have had to put in almost 5 pounds of R22, which is $1.2 billion. Everything's on target there. Our split's good. Let's look at our system performance. We can see that 18.4 is our target, so we're a little bit above the target, pretty close. 390 actual CFM per ton. Everything's looking pretty good. So, I'll let it sit here for a second. Our target subcooling is 12, so see how close we get by letting it run for about 5 or 10 more minutes, see if we have to add any more charge. Alright guys, this bird is done. 6 pounds of refrigerant later. I'm sealing up all of our straders. Got nylog on these two here. I got new caps on these two down here, and nylog on the service valve caps. Hopefully that'll do it, and I'll put this thing back together. Head on to my next call, which is HVAC plumbing. Guys, we're downtown Wilmington now. In the ghetto. It's just a song. It's not to indicate the particular political or demographic of this area. In the ghetto. There's the old fountain here at Margaret Street and 5th Avenue. Little apartment building there. I think my wife told me that on her senior year at her high school, they put soap bubbles in that fountain. They had to close the intersection. I think I already told you guys that. Maybe not. Maybe so. I don't know. Let's get on with it. Guys, I have a Goodman air handler. I sat here in place of a train about 3 or 4 years ago maybe, and I'm redoing the drain, and there's a J-trap there. I'm going to pipe it over to a new location here. I used to go down right there into a hub, but it was backing up, so I'm going through the floor in a new location. I'm going to pipe it over to there, then I'm going to go downstairs in the wet wall and find a sewer to take it to. Alright guys, I have my J-trap. I dropped it down there because it was kind of a weird angle. It's going through the floor. So I got my J-trap there, and I'm going to go down into the wet wall and fix rest. So I got to use one coupling, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 90s. Oh, happy day. I got to have my drain run down here to tap into this vent. What a much other ways it could go. You see it comes from way up there. This other line right in front of me is an extension of that same hub, so it's blocked somewhere along the way. And it is trapped up there, but they said they couldn't free it up. So I'm assuming that that trap is not the cause of the problem. Either way, I've brought that line down here into this 2-inch to 1.5 inch T with a bushing in it down to 3/4. And then on down here and out. I'm sweaty as a bitch, and I'm leaving this third call, going to call number 4 across the river in Leland, Cape Fear River that is. I'm in downtown Wilmington right now at the apartment buildings. So I am heading out for our final call of the day. I got 2 more tomorrow, which I may or may not add on to the same video. Wait for the guy walking by. Everybody loves everybody. Alright, well let's get the hell out of Dodge. Go over to Leland. Looks like bad news here, leaving town, like every other day leaving town. We're in traffic, it's a bitch. Usually it's the other way. Man, I got the bad luck today. All I gotta do is make it 1 mile to get on the exit. That's all I gotta do.